Hello, I hope everyone is having a beautiful Friday. We are going live with one of our past students, Autumn, so I'm just going to go ahead and add her into the live right now. Autumn. This is always like the part that gives me the most anxiety. I'm like, am I going to be able to find them? I hate that I have to be. It's not working. There we go. Okay, perfect. Autumn was a past student of ours. Oh, Autumn, are you there?
Yeah, I'm
It
here.
says you.
Can you hear
Oh, I don't know. I can't see you. Why
me?
can't I see you? Can anybody else see Autumn? If you guys can tell me in the comments, that would be awesome. Do, do, do. I am technologically challenged. I don't know how to fix this. Can you see? You can see Autumn? Okay. All right. I don't know why I can't
That's
see
weird.
you. That's so strange. That's so frustrating. I like to see your face while we're
Yeah.
talking, but okay. Well, anyways, welcome everyone. I'm so excited to have you guys here. I'm gonna apologize in advance because I'm on this like 14-day cycle of like getting sick and then getting better, and then I thought I was over my last sickness like on Sunday, and then now I am sick again. So I apologize in advance if I am like coughing or sneezing for half of the time when we're on here. But I thought it was a really great opportunity still for us to get on, talk to Autumn. She was one of our past students. She took the Makin Money Moves method, which is our 3-month coaching program, where I basically teach you guys the strategies, the tools, the methodologies that I use to go from $40,000 in debt to a millionaire at 30 years old. And I think it's so important to share these stories with you guys because I know it's one thing to look at me and see the financial success that I've had, and it's easy to think, okay, well, she's the anomaly. Well, it worked for her. Does it actually work for anybody else? So I think it's so great for you guys to see these students' success stories and these students that have come through and just like absolutely crushed it, and hear from them, because I think it can give you that inspiration and that motivation to take that next step, whether it's with me or someone else or on your own, but just really to start paying attention to your financial situation, knowing that where you are right now doesn't have to be where you are forever, and understanding that, yeah, you can make massive change and it doesn't have to take a super long time to be able to do that. So Autumn said she used to avoid looking at her finances. She never sat down with her goals and she was just saving with no real plan. After our program, she built a $3,000 emergency fund and a high yield savings account. It is still growing. Amazing. She increased her credit score by 21 points, is at 755 as of today. I love that. She paid off $4,000 in debt while she was in the program, so while she was with us for 3 months, and an additional $6,000 since. So with a total of $10,000 paid off. She created her investing portfolio. She increased her knowledge about the stock market, what to look for on fact sheets, and she feels comfortable making decisions with her money. That is amazing. She's making purchases without guilt because they are in alignment with her goals. And with her new savings goal, she was able to actually take her mom to Iceland in February. So the best part was that she knew she was being responsible with her money and her debts were also taken care of. So it was a guilt-free purchase. And I think that that is so incredible. And again, she was able to do this with all of the strategies that we teach inside our 3-month coaching program, the Makin Money Moves method. If you guys want to learn more about that after the live, you can go to our link in bio. I think it's the second link on there. It says work with Nicole. I think work with Nicole, learn the strategies I used to go from $40,000 debt to a millionaire at 30. Or you can email our team support@nobudgetbabe.com. So Autumn, I'm really sad that I can't see you right now, but I'm glad everybody else can. I want to just jump into it. Why don't you tell everyone a little bit more about yourself, who you are, where you're from, all that fun stuff?
Yes. So I am from outside of Philadelphia. I went to Lafayette College and got a degree in neuroscience, and now I work with nutritionists and a couple different things. Yeah, I work with nutritionists on the weekends. I work at like a local breakfast place for some extra cash and to help pay down the rest of my student loans. Yeah, and I babysit sometimes, but my main job's working with nutritionists. I do a few different things for them. So
I love that. That's awesome. So tell us a little bit more about where you found us and what made you decide to apply to the program and seek financial coaching. Like, where were you at that point in your life?
yeah, so it was almost a year after I graduated. from college, and I found one of your videos on Instagram. I actually don't even, I think it was a video that wasn't even related to money. It was something about your kids that just came up on my algorithm. And then I was like, we just had like such like an energy, and I was like, who is this? And I was going through, and at that point I'd been seeing so much about like, you need to invest, you need to invest. You are losing hundreds of dollars every day you don't invest. And I'm like, okay, somebody tell me how. Because I mean, I grew up like comfortably, but I don't have like, like generational wealth. My parents don't have like, a whole bunch of investing knowledge. And yeah, so I just had no idea how to do that. So every time I would see something, I would be like, okay. And then I found your videos, and they, had a lot of information that helped get me started. And then the masterclass, one of the master classes that you have on your site, I really liked. And there was like, I already had learned so much information. So I was like, okay, I know there's a lot that I could get out of this. And I had seen some of the other Instagram lives and other people's reviews and feedback and stuff.
I love that.
Yeah, so many people seem to have completely turned their life around. So yeah, like you said, at that point I was kind of ignoring my finances. I'm not in like, I wasn't in like an insane amount of debt, but student loans are kind of crazy. And I had no idea how I was gonna start paying them. And that was during the COVID, all that stuff. So my loans were like different. Like I didn't have to pay them until over a year after I graduated, which was nice, but I didn't know how I was going to start paying them once a day. Cause I was like, I feel like I already don't have enough money.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to do an extra couple hundred a month. So yeah.
I love that. So basically, you're saying you're in a situation where, okay, you grew up pretty comfortably. You had some kind of general knowledge of like, I know I should be saving money, and I know I should be like investing, and I know I should be paying down my debt, but I don't really know what the best ways to go about this is. And, you had just graduated from college, still kind of lacking that knowledge, not really having anybody else to lean back on to help you. And then you were able to find us. And I love that you had so much success just with our free content as well. The stuff that we put out on social media, and our freebies, like our free investing masterclass. I'm assuming that's the one that you took. It's amazing. And it's a really great opportunity for you guys. If you're like, I am brand new to investing, I don't really know what this is. I don't know what the best times to invest are. I don't even know how like it actually works. Like, how do you actually even buy a stock? That is an incredible place for you. So I'm losing my voice now. That's an incredible place for you to go and start learning about those things. If you guys are wondering where you can find that, we have it on our website under freebies. I think it's the first link in our link in bio. It says free trainings. There are 4 of them there. So there's one that's a free investing masterclass that teaches you specifically how to get started investing. There is a free 30 days to 100K challenge. That is the one that I am relaunching right now. I actually just refilmed all of that, added new content to it. It's really awesome. Basically, the first day is teaching you how to save more money without a budget, without giving up the things that you love, without, changing your lifestyle to some really creative savings hacks. And then the second day is learning more about like the psychology and then the money rules that will help you build that wealth. And then the third day is taking what you have learned from the first and the second days and then using that to learn how to invest and actually grow that wealth over time. So those are awesome. There's also another one in there called From Broke to Ballin', and that is basically my 5-step methodology that I used to go from $40,000 in debt to a millionaire. It's the what and the why behind all of those steps, like what you need to do, why you need to do it, that kind of thing. So all of those are really awesome if you guys are looking for a place to get started. And we have had so much positive feedback from them of people just being like, wow, like I learned so much just in this free content that I was able to go, like, even if they don't end up working with us after, they were able to go and start implementing this stuff and really working towards their goals and seeing some really big success. So I just love that so much. And I love hearing that you had a lot of success with the freebies too. Tell me more about the goals that you wanted to accomplish coming into the program. So you wanted to learn how to save, you wanted to learn how to invest, but was there anything specific that you were kind of like struggling with at the time, or sorry, my voice, struggling with at the time, or something that was kind of like stressing you out? Like, what was keeping you up at night at that point in time?
What was really, especially like right, after I graduated, I didn't have like a traditional job, and even now, like I work for like small businesses, and it's not, it doesn't come with a crazy amount of like benefits and 401ks, and So that was the one thing that was really stressing me, is I was like, okay, I'm, like, I'm in my early 20s. Like, I really should have retirement savings. I know that. But I don't know how any of that works. So that was like one of my main goals, was to get retirement funds set up and to like understand them and how they work. And then a goal that I didn't even like realize was my mindset around money. That was like one of my biggest takeaways from the program.
I love that.
Yeah, I didn't really realize it going into the program, but then as soon as we started the work, I was like, oh, there's a lot to be done here. So that was one of the goals that I kind of got then, was like, I need to completely like reframe how I think about money, because I did not even realize how much like the words or like the things that I would think were having such an effect on my financial situation. And it led into that more like the avoidance, like my mindset around it was the reason I got so much anxiety looking at my bank account or my credit card statement. Like, I would never look through my credit card statement. I was like, whatever, like, I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's correct. I'll just, it's there, whatever. I'll make the payments. And that's that. But that was like one of the biggest things that kind of helped me completely reframe it and actually, be able to sit down and look at my finances and do it without, such an extreme emotional response. And not feel guilty about, like silly things, because if I want, coffee in the morning, and before I would kind of shame myself and be like, I can't believe you just spent $6 on coffee. Like, that's ridiculous. But now I can, I make purchases that I know are smart, and I know that I have money for, and I have automatic deposits. That was another thing. I never had anything automatic. And I mean, I never had any late fees on my credit card, which is good. Like, I was always good about paying things on time, but yeah, just having things automatic. And now I have my loans set up as an automatic every month, and I save on interest, which I didn't even know was a thing. So
amazing. I love that all for you. And I think you touched on something so important, is that, the tactic, so important. Learning how to invest, learning the best accounts to use, learning how to pay the least amount of taxes, on the wealth that you build through these accounts and stuff like that. But what I always say is 80% of being good with money is your mindset, your behavior, your psychology. And I think most people don't realize that that's something that has such a big influence over their life, because it's not something that they're consciously thinking about. They're kind of these pre-programmed beliefs or thoughts that we have based on the things that we saw while we were growing up, the experiences that we've had, and we've used those to create specific rules, which are your money rules. And they influence everything that you do with money. So if you're only focusing on the tactic, if you're only learning the best accounts to use, how to pay off your debt, how to invest, but you're not addressing the root cause, this is really great, but you won't do these things in a way that makes sense. They won't end up being long term, and you may actually just cause yourself to lose a lot of money because you haven't addressed the muck beneath the surface. If we think about this, our actions get us all of the results that we have in life, and our actions come from our thoughts, and our thoughts come from our beliefs. So if we want to make saving money effortless, if we want to, make investing effortless, if we want to make paying down our debt effortless, we first have to address the mindset that got us to the point we are right now. So for example, one of the strategies we teach in the program is, figuring out how to lower the interest rates on your debt, so that you are able to put more towards the principal, pay that down faster, and pay it off in less time, and save a lot of money and interest along the way. What I see happen, right? Other people use this strategy. They don't address the mindset behind why they got into debt in the first place. And they open up, say, this line of credit with a lower interest rate or a balance transfer card, and they get the money transferred over to this balance transfer card. But because they haven't addressed the underlying reason, now they've opened up, they have more available credit. They end up racking that up too, whether they intend to or not, plus the other card. And now they have double the amount of debt that they had in the first place. And it ends up becoming this vicious cycle where they're kind of just moving debt around, or they pay the debt down, but they end up racking it back up again because they haven't addressed the root cause. And that's why I say, things like budgets, I really believe that that is just a Band-Aid fix. It's looking at the symptom and not the cause. And I think that that's a lot of the problem that people have. Like you said, I had financial avoidance, which is very common, right? money makes us feel uncomfortable. We think it's easier to just pretend that it's not happening, to close our eyes, to kind of just like turn away from it. But that in and of itself is self-sabotage, right? You're preventing yourself from getting ahead. So if you had not addressed that, while you may have known how to invest and how to pay down your debt and how to manage your money, you may not have done it in the way that was going to give you long-term success. Like you may have seen success for a month or 2 months or 3 months. But what I have seen is that people will have success with those kinds of strategies without the mindset for maybe about 3 months. And then they'll revert back to their old ways and end up falling deeper into the hole that they were in the first place. So again, that's why there's such a focus. And this is what I learned from myself too, right? Like when I started studying finance and when I started studying money and learning more about personal finance, I realized that my mindset and the way that I had grown up had shaped the way I thought about myself, what was possible for me, what was possible for my money, so much. And it was actually preventing me from taking the actions that I needed to take to get ahead. And that's when I got really deep into psychology and mindset and like stoicism. I really love that. And I think it's just so important to understand the reasons why we're doing something, because until you understand the reason why, you won't truly be able to overcome it. So I think that that's so great. And I love that you were so open to, like, I know a lot of people come in and they think that the investing part is going to be the most difficult part to learn. But usually what happens is people will get into the mindset stuff and they're like, oh my God, I didn't realize this was going to be so challenging, in the sense that I'm really having to question myself and I'm really having to call myself out on my own bullshit so that I'm able to grow, right? And that's why we have, amazing resources within the group. Myself, our co-coaches, we have a therapist on staff who hosts once monthly mindset masterminds to really help you guys dive into, okay, I'm doing this and I don't want to do this and I don't understand why I keep doing this, or I'm feeling really anxious about this, or I'm feeling really scared about this, or I'm whatever it is, and helping you guys work through those feelings, so that you're able to get the financial stuff and just have it really, really stick and become super effortless. I just love it so much. And I see, like, we've had some students in there where they've been with us for, like, they've decided to stay on even after the program, and just watching the change that they have had. Like I know Jen, she was on the live. Jen, I don't know if you're still here. Jen is a student who's in the Makin Money Moves method right now, and she's been with us for a few months. And the growth that I have seen in her over these last few months, from where she was when she first came in to where she is now, has just been incredible. Like, I am just so incredibly proud of her. The way that she thinks about things, the way that she, like, when she's challenged with something, it doesn't cause her to, like, hide or break down or anything. She sees it, she says, how can I? And then she works through it, because life is always going to be hard. Life is always going to throw shit at you. Something bad is always going to happen. Like, that's just life. The way you come out ahead, the way you become successful, is by saying, okay, this is shit, but what can I do about it? Instead of focusing on, like, I know what I can't do, but what can I do? And as soon as you're able to shift to that growth mindset, that is when success becomes inevitable. Like, it is not possible to not succeed if you don't give up, right? Failure only happens when you give up. So anyways, I think that is incredible. And I'm just so glad that you had so many wins from a mindset perspective as well. Why don't you tell us more about what you were able to accomplish in the program? So I know I talked about some of your big wins. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about those?
Yeah. Like you said, like with the mindset stuff, I feel like the world just kind of opened up to me after that. Like, it was kind of my first sort of introduction to that kind of, like, switching your mindset to completely like change your reality. And I've gotten so much more into like that in different areas of my life as well, outside of money now. So it really kind of, like, this program like paved the way for so many other things. That was a huge success. And then the biggest thing is the emergency fund. Like, I always had savings, I always had like core savings. And I was pretty good about not touching them most of the time, but I never had anything separated as like an emergency fund versus the goals for travel. Like, I did a bunch of like solo travel over the summer in Europe, and I had savings for that, like, specifically, instead of just using my like savings generally. And the peace of mind that comes with that is crazy, especially cars. That is the one thing that I feel like has been such an issue this past year,
Mhm.
was just car problems. Like tire
Yeah.
blew out, and um right now I'm like buying a car off my parents, and so there's like more
Mhm.
expensive that. So there's just so, oh, and then one time I just a couple weeks ago pulled up to my house, was sitting there for a second, and out of nowhere, the back windshield shattered. Like
Oh
did
no.
not,
What?
like
Are you
nothing.
okay?
Yeah, oh, it was fine, but nothing hit it, nothing happened, and I was like, are you kidding me?
Oh,
So it's just so nice to have that like peace of mind of just like, I don't have to stop paying debt this month. I don't have to, not go to dinner like I had planned or whatever. Like I don't have to change
yeah.
my current payments and my investments and all of that. I can keep them all the same and use the emergency fund because my windshield just decided to explode for no reason. Um, so that I think is just like one of the biggest successes that I've had from the program. And then, like you said, taking my mom to Iceland was really super fun.
I think
Um,
that's so cool. And I
yeah,
love how like yes, these were like big financial goals, like paying down $10,000 of debt, being able to build up that $3,000 emergency fund, all those like paying for the trip to Iceland. Those were great from like a like a financial perspective, but from like an emotional ROI,
yeah,
that's what I think is just so important to think about here is like, yeah, you know that you are covered. You don't have to stress. Like the feeling of not having to worry about money. Okay, my windshield shattered. Fuck, that sucks. But like, I have the money to take care of it. I don't have to change my life. I don't have to say, oh, well, now I don't get to go out for dinner, or now I have to like, extend my debt repayment timeline or something like that. Like, no, like I know it's taken care of, and that peace of mind knowing that you have money set aside for each specific goal. So you know exactly when you're going to hit those goals. Like this is a big problem that I see a lot of people have as well, as like lack of specificity in their goals. They're like, I want to save money, but like, what are you saving for? And when you don't actually know what you're saving for, it makes it so much easier to self-sabotage because you're like, okay, well, I have this money. And they're like, what else is it for anyways? I just had it for something, right? And it's hard for you to actually take those next steps and hit those goals the way that you want to if you don't even know what you're going after, right? It's easy to transfer that money back over to your checking account and spend it on something random, right? Because you don't actually know what it's for. And then at the same time, when you do that, then you don't have those funds left over for when shit does hit the fan. Because again, like we said, shit is always going to hit the fan in life. Something's always going to happen. The way that we come out ahead is by preparing for it, right? We are going to hope for the best, but we're going to expect the worst. So we're going to plan for the worst case scenario. We're going to build that emergency fund, right? Like I have a 12-month emergency fund. It's like, okay. And I started doing that when I started selling real estate and I didn't have consistent income because I'm like, okay, I want to make sure I'm okay, right? Like if shit hits the fan and I don't make any sales or I don't have any money coming in, I need to make sure that I can support my lifestyle. And just that peace of mind is everything. So I love that so much for you and that you were able to get that. And, the emotional ROI of being able to take your mom to Iceland. Like I'm sure there's so many people watching this that love travel. Travel is a huge value of mine. And being able to experience those things, not even just yourself, but with your family and bringing them along with you, I think that that is just so incredibly beautiful. And I just love that. And that's going to be something that you and her both look back on for years to come as this time in your life when just, I don't know, when you just got to bond and have this experience together. And I just think that that's so beautiful. So I think I love that so much for you. What goals are you pursuing next?
so I I when I graduated school, the plan was to kind of take some time and then decide if I wanted to go back to school. So like I said, I studied neuroscience. So it's kind of a major that people usually go back to school in some capacity. And it had been, I was always very academic minded. And so when I graduated, that was like the first fall. And I think it was like 17 years that I wasn't going back to school in
Mhm.
like some capacity. So I was like enjoying that break and I knew I wanted to go abroad and I did that. And I came back and I'd been working online for nutritionists, and I was like, I never want to go back into an office ever again. So the ultimate goal is to kind of to continue doing that, maybe build my own business one day. I'm not really sure. Um, but yeah, to keep working online and to figure out more ways to make more money doing that so I don't have to serve
Mhm.
forever. And continue building my investments for, I got the retirement stuff squared away, and now I'm working on building up for more short-term goals. Like I
Yeah,
would like
I love it.
to move. I want to be able to kind of travel like whenever and wherever I want, and bring people with me if I need to. Like that's kind of the ultimate goal. And I learned so many tricks traveling over the summer, like budget traveling wise.
Mhm.
So I know how to, save money on it. But that is the ultimate goal, because that's like probably one of the biggest uh, savings goals of mine, is to always have money set aside for travel. And I want to, check off more countries, and um, continue working online and being able to continue like bringing in money while I'm still, living my life and doing what I want. I'd like to be work optional before 65. I don't know exactly when, but I don't want to wait till 65 to retire. So
I love it.
um yeah, I have a lot of like good like long-term goals. Right now, I think like my short-term goals are to continue serving and continue building up like my emergency fund and my
Mhm.
investments, and um kind of keep doing that. I'm in the hustle phase for sure, but it's so nice knowing how to manage my money now. And I've served for years, and when I went through this program, I was like, I don't know where all that money went. I was making a lot of money for a 19-year-old serving,
Mhm.
and I don't even know where some of it went. I wasn't paying attention, and there a lot of cash. I had a lot of cash,
Mhm.
and that was always the downfall for me, because I
Yeah.
was like, it's cash. My bank account's not changing. It's different. And I kept so much cash. Like I would have thousands of dollars in my room, like hidden in my room, doing nothing, losing value. So I was like, what? Like, so when I went through this program, I realized how ridiculous that was. And that was part of like the changing my mindset around it. I was all like, why on earth do I keep cash in my room? What am I afraid of? And like, if there is like, some horrible like apocalypse type thing, what is cash going to do for me? So
Yeah.
it was like a whole like transformation I went through. And now I have, I'm making, I think I'm up to like 5% in my one savings account, is like
Awesome.
5% interest. So
Amazing.
all of my money from start, like I go to the bank weekly now to deposit cash. So yeah, those are my main goals, to keep doing that and to keep hustling and building up my bank account. So yeah, I can do the travel thing and my own business thing and all that.
I love that. So you're very clear about like what your values are. You want freedom, you want to have, the ability to travel, and you're doing the work now to be able to set yourself up to have that later down the road, and to enjoy that right now as well, by being smart with your money and creating these streams of income, and looking at different ways to bring in money even passively. Autumn's actually going to be joining us for our income multiplier program, which is a step up from our Makin Money Moves program. So she's graduated from Making Money Moves, and now she's moving into, okay, I know how to manage my money. I know, I've paid down my high interest debt. I have built my retirement savings. I've done all of the things. I have this amazing financial foundation. I'm going to be great, but now I want to like fast track that success. I want to go in and I want to learn how to build up multiple streams of income. I want to learn about investing in real estate, and I want to learn about mix and rates and all of those kinds of things. So she's looking at that program now, and we're so excited to have her back for it. And I just love, Autumn, that you're like, I'm in like the hustle phase, and I don't want to like glorify the hustle, but I think at some point we have to realize that we're either going to do the hard thing now for an easy life later, or we're going to do the easy thing now for a hard life later. So if you can do 3 years of hard for 40 years of easy, versus 3 years of easy 3 years of easy for 40 years of hard, that is 100% the route that I would take every single day, right? Because you are just, the time is going to pass anyways, and you might as well be working towards your goals and building the life that you want. Just because you don't have the things that you want necessarily right now doesn't mean you can't have them in the future if you work for them. But if you never work for them, then you are the one who is solidifying the decision that I won't ever have those things. So
Yeah.
I think it's so amazing that, even at such a young age, you're like, I am so focused on this, and I know exactly what I want, and I know what I want to get out of life. And I am just getting all of the information and all of the tools now that I can put that into action. When you're like so stuffed up, and then you talk, and then you feel like all the air just gets stuck in
Yes.
your
Oh no.
last night on my coaching call too. I'm like, I can't even breathe and I'm talking and I can, oh my God, it's so gross. I'm so disgusting right now. But anyway, this has been so amazing, Autumn. I have loved having you on here and I appreciate you sharing your story with everyone. Any final words?
Um, I think just like thank you, the peace of mind that I've had since the program and the ability when I catch myself going back into like those old patterns of like anxiety, I can look at like I've always been a logical person, I've always been a numbers person. I can look at the numbers and be like, chill, you're fine. You know what you're
Yeah.
doing. And I just have such like faith now that I'm like I will be okay financially. I'm gonna be fine. I don't have this isn't gonna be like a lifelong struggle. It might be something that I struggle with here and then. Um,
Mhm.
at this point in my life, you know, being young and
Mhm.
the housing market being what it is at the moment and
Yeah.
all that, you know, it's gonna be a struggle right now, but I don't have to like deal with that forever. And I just have such like confidence in my knowledge and faith in the future. And yeah, so thank you for everything.
I love that. I love that so much. And thank you. And thank you for just being so incredible and showing up and doing the work and showing up for yourself and not phoning it in. Like, that's the difference, right? Between, signing up and not doing anything or signing up and coming in and doing the work and showing up and implementing these things in your life. Because what I see a lot of people do, I see this with like our free trainings a lot, is people will take the free trainings or they'll consume a lot of, content online. They'll go and they'll watch all these like Instagram videos or TikTok videos and they will consume all of the information, but then they won't ever actually take action. And that's going to be the difference, right? So if you are out there and you keep reading books and you keep listening to podcasts and you keep watching videos on social media, but you're not actually implementing anything that you learn, that's going to be the difference. Don't be that person that learns it all, but doesn't actually take action in their life. And if you're not taking action right now, go back and ask yourself why. What is the root cause? Why are you self-sabotaging? You know what you have to do, right? If you have the information, you know what you have to do, but you're not taking that next step. Why are you not implementing into your life? What do you need? Why are you getting in your own way? And why are you preventing yourself from having the success in the life that you truly want to have? So I know that everyone watching this, I believe that anybody has the opportunity to change their financial situation. Obviously, different people are starting from different points, but ultimately, there's always things that we can do to better our lives, to better our money. And money may not be everything, but everything takes money, right? Money is the foundation that you're going to use to build your life. Okay. And I'm just so passionate about this. Anyways, I love you guys so much. Thank you again, Autumn, for joining me. If you guys have any questions about the program, you can send them to support@nobudgetbabe.com, or you can check out our website. It's the second link down for the Making Money Moves method, which is the program that Autumn took. Amazing. Thank you. I was really sad that I couldn't see you this whole time. I don't understand what happened, but
I
thank
don't
you
know.
so much for joining me, honey.
Of course. Thank you so much.
You take care. Everybody have a beautiful day.
Feel